Hey, what's up, everybody? Karios TCG here, and welcome to another episode of Pokemon Card of the Week. So, this episode is going to be a big shout out to Eric G, one of my friends in the Pokemon NY Discord that I'm a part of. Last week was his birthday, so I thought maybe let's make this episode special for him. Originally, I was going to talk about the Snorlax from 151, but then I realized that card doesn't exactly do him justice, since his favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. But then I thought, why not just talk about a card that he recently gave me a few months ago that makes much more sense. So I looked through the binder and I remembered the one card that he gave me that kind of fits the bill. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Challenge from Team Rocket. And as you can see, there's Snorlax right there, just chilling, not without a care in the world. Hitmonlee with his big old foot in the middle of the card. Machamp just flexing as usual. Arbok in the back. Muck with his hand raised, and Victory Bell looking like he just committed a crime, but is like, yeah, you're never gonna find out. Anyway, let's read what the effect says. Ask your opponent if he or she accepts your challenge. Roll credits. If your opponent declines or if both benches are full, draw 2 cards. If your opponent accepts, each of you searches your decks for any number of basic Pokemon cards and puts them face down onto your benches. A player can't do this if his or her bench is full. When you both have finished, shuffle your decks and turn those cards face up. That's a pretty wild effect, because on the one hand, if your opponent declines or both benches are full, you draw 2 cards. But if not, both players can get to play basic cards face down, any basic card face down, and play it for the turn. Then flip them face up, and your opponent has to guess before they flip up. Your opponent has to guess what they are, what those basic Pokemon are. I think this card is wild. Imagine, and also that's another thing you have to think about. Since there was for Scarlet and Violet a Team Rocket set supposed to be coming out soon, potentially. Imagine that would be scary if a card like this was to ever come back. They would have to change the effect, of course, because being able to fill your entire board, like your bench, with basic Pokemon, which cards cards like Radiant Zard can be played for free. Like, just to name one there's multiple of them. It's just Radiant Zard that just caught my attention with this. But any number of basic Pokemon, you can only have up to 5 basic Pokemon because it's 6, so it's 6, 1 on active and 5 on bench. Unless your opponent plays Collapse Coliseum, which magically changes it from 6 to 5, 1 on active and 4 on bench. So if they bring this card back, but they would have to change the effect of challenge if they ever bring this card back. And this card by my friend Eric G, when he gave it to me, I think it meant a good deal because he is a good friend of mine. He's a really cool guy once you get to know him. He always likes to make people laugh. That's what I like to think about it. He's a very chill guy. More often than not, whenever I see him, he's always opening a box or so for the recent set. Usually, not all the time, but he'll crack like 1 or 2 boxes, and It would just be cool to see all the big hits that he gets from it. And, this card, I think this card is more special. If anything, I think I would put this card in the top loader. I think that would make more sense. It's just that the card is for Dragon Ball. Doesn't really matter. The card means a lot to me, regardless of which. Just a card doesn't have to be expensive. If it comes from if your friend gives a card to you, it doesn't matter if the card is in good condition or not. It comes from the heart. If it's a card that they think you might like, it comes from the heart. Either that or there may be other reasons, but I think I picked the latter of the two. So I think, yeah, that's the end of this video. I apologize for it being so short because, vintage cards, they have some of the most ridiculous effects to date that I'm well aware of. But, if this card does, like I said, if this card does come back, it's going to be pretty wild because there are a lot of basic Pokemon that can be played with this effect during this rotation. And I think the metagame would be wild if this card were to ever come back. They would again for the upteam time, they would have to change the effect so that it's not crazy, its effect is not crazy, that it's balanced and fair. Wow, I never thought I'd use the word Pokemon and fair in the same sentence. Oh boy. So anyway, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like. Also, happy belated birthday to Eric G. His birthday was last week, the weekend of last week. So it only made sense to make this video for him. So with that being said, I will see you guys later, and just be safe out there. Wherever you're doing, be safe out there. Peace.